Yeah.
But how do you get those guys to mesh?
Just a lot of 5-on-5. We just put that group together that was out there in white about 4 days ago, so they haven't had much time together with Tyrese and PJ. We've been kind of having them compete against one another. And now it's just basically a lot of 5-on-5. We've done a lot of drill work, but now it's time for them to mesh, getting up and down.
Penny, is the way the teams are split, is that reflective of starters and reserves, like the five we saw in the
That's the way I see it now. Doesn't mean that it could change. It couldn't change before North Carolina, but I wanted to see that lineup.
What is your expectation out of these two different types of exhibitions?
Yeah, I mean both really good teams, great traditions of winning, and it just gives you a test to see where your bar is, where you are early before the season even starts. North Carolina's fast pace, obviously not going to shoot as many threes as Alabama, and Alabama is going to space the floor and 5 out, and everybody shoots threes. So it gives us two good looks before we get into the regular season. We have some really big games coming up in the first part of the season in non-conference.
And you said you wanted to see that lineup like that. What did you take away from that 5-on-5 today?
I see that they're still trying to adjust to one another, trying not to do too much, but that'll come the more that they play together. But I think that today it was times where Tyrese could have taken it, Kobe could have taken it, and PJ could have taken it, and they kind of backed up and then tried to get into the offense. I think our best offense is those guys just doing their thing and just getting downhill and making two people play them and then getting off the ball, and I think that will come.
Do you notice some alphas already showing up? Look like Tyrese might have called his own timeout at one point. Kind of got his team's crawl a little bit. Do you notice some of that already?
Well, I know the two guys that have like stepped up early. This is from June. Is Musa and Tyrese. Those two guys have been vocal in a positive way to try to get everybody locked in and understanding what we need to do. They both have played in big games, and their leadership is definitely needed.
What do you like the most? What do you like the most with what you've seen from the team, and what is your biggest concern at this point?
I think what I like the most is that they're willing to learn. They're willing to do whatever you need them to do. They don't have any egos. And I don't really have any big concerns right now. Only thing is health. Like today, Tyrese tweaked his hamstring a little bit in that first half. Musa has a groin, and I think everyone else is pretty good. But yeah, Tyreek Smith has a hand. So those three things, that's the only pretty much concerns I have is just staying healthy, getting these guys healthy and staying healthy. Yeah, he's gotten better. You know, with us having the entire team here since June, obviously he came in wide-eyed and not knowing what's going on. His talent, in the transition and being able to get downhill has been pretty good. He's gotten better and better every week because these guys have been showing him the way, the veterans, and looked really good today.
Defensively, I know you got away from your roots last year. How is that progressing this early with fitness?
Yeah, I think it's progressed because we've had everybody since June, and they understand what we want. So it'll be easier for us to get into what we need to get into because we're not building a team in August. We built the team in June, so everybody was here from day one, and we were able to put a lot of stuff in June and July.
I don't know if you can say, you kind of hands off right there during the scrimmage, but how important is it for these guys to get comfortable with the assistant coaches as they kind of lead them through the situation?
Yeah, it's very important. I mean, we've been doing this. We've probably done this 6 times already, and I've kind of stayed out of it. The other, 5 times we've done it today, I just got a little bit more vocal. But it is important for them to get, the assistants to get some reps with the guys and for them to kind of trust what they have going as well.
Just all the coaches that you planning on hiring anyone else, or you kind of keeping with who you've got right now?
It's kind of up in the air right now on hiring someone else, just like what we have right now. I'm not saying it's out of the question, but just like what we have right now.
I mean, if it was, you're selling the team like you would sell a car and you put the description of what the team is about, how would you describe to somebody outside what we're going to see from your team this year?
I think you're going to see toughness. You're going to see togetherness. This team is really close-knit. They hang together off the court. They're always together, and the toughness is there. A really tough-minded team that's going to scrap and play hard every possession, and a team that's together.
Tyreek said yesterday that you kind of make it a point to put him and AJ against each other in practice. What's kind of the rationale behind that?
Well, obviously, Musa's been injured, so he's been out. So it made it simple for me to put Tyreek at the small ball 5 against Dane, and that's a load for him on the defensive end because Dane is so strong. But then on the other end, Dane has to guard him with his quickness. So I thought that was a good matchup for both of them to have.
Yeah, why do you not, per se, do the same thing with, for example, PJ Haggerty or Titus Hunter, considering that they're going to be the two dominant ball handlers on this team?
Do what with them?
Why do you not want them to get reps against one another, for example?
No, they've done that all summer. They just got together 4 days ago. They've gone against each other from June until now. They've never been on the same team up until today.
And you mentioned Musa. What kind of growth have you seen in him from the first stint on your team to now, 5 years later?
Yeah, I think obviously when you're coming out of high school and Musa felt like he needed to be one and done, but also playing a style that he wanted to play, which was shooting jump shots. And I just didn't think that was smart for him because he was the best rim protector and shot blocker in the country, one of the best rebounders. And as a young guy, he was a little more frustrated with not being able to do the other stuff. I think coming into his 5th year now, going to a couple of teams, he understands now what his game is. He has grown with his game to be able to, stretch it out to at least 15, 16 feet and knock that jump shot down, but understands how to win and what it takes to win now.
Is he getting close to being ready for full contact?
Yeah, he is. He's just been doing 5-on-0 non-contact, but it's definitely getting closer.
When he comes back, where do you see him? How do you see him? What's the dynamic?
Yeah, I think that coming back to that blue team who only has Faraji right now and P.J. Carter, he goes back to that team and pretty much plays against P.J. Haggerty and Tyrese Hunter and Kobe Rogers every single day and compete and show what he has. He hadn't been able to play all summer, so, when he's coming in, very heady, very high IQ, hard-nosed player that is going to make smart decisions of what we saw early on, and looking forward to seeing him compete against those guys now.
And what's it going to take for Jared to become a regular part of the rotation? Because he saw some flashes in his youth, but he's still young, going against some more mature guys. What's it going to take for him to raise his game up to get regular minutes?
Yeah, it's going to take for him to get with the coaches, to watch film, and get in the gym more. He's just a natural right now. He's not spending a lot of time in the gym, but like you saw today, he has that talent and potential. So it's on him how much he wants this, to be with the coaches and film, get on the court and work on his game.
And given the fact that y'all are a little bit less deep than in years past, how much do you have to rely on guys like Jared Harris to contribute off the bench?
I think we're going to have to rely on everybody. I mean, I think last year showed that. When Caleb Mills going down, man, the rotation just got shorter. It's tough. And then everybody's not Caleb Mills, but you're going to need the entire team to be locked in and focused on being contributors.
Do you see yourself filling out the rest of the roster? Sorry. Do you see yourself filling out the rest of the
Maybe. Might get one more guy. Thinking about it.
What's your goal for the team outside of making the tournament and fourth spot and winning the tournament?
I think it's basically our conference. We've never won a regular season conference tournament. The league in regular season. We won the conference tournament, but not the regular season. I think that's the focus. We're not going to ignore that we do have a conference of teams that are capable, very tough conference as far as like physicality and having older guys. The non-conference, we've done pretty well, but the conference is number one. You got to do that before you get to the NCAA tournament. I think you want to fare well, obviously in the non-conference, but when it gets to conference, you want to win the regular season. We've had teams to do that. The talent, and we just haven't been able to get over the hump in that area. So that's what I'm looking the most forward to.
And as a coach, I know in the past, you said ego was a very big problem on the team. As a coach, how are you taking it different for this season and this team, and you get the fans?
Well, I'm actually going into my 7th year, and I'm learning. Just kind of got thrown in the fire and understanding how all of this works now going into my 7th year. There's a lot that I've learned over those first 6 years on personnel, on coaching, on understanding how to put out fires earlier. And it takes a group, though. It takes me and the rest of the coaches in the entire building to be rowing the boat in the same direction to be able to keep these 13 young guys in the right mind frame. Because once season starts, some guys start floating if they're not getting the minutes, if they're not getting the shots, and then you got to know that ahead of time and be able to put those fires out early.
Penny, will there be a different philosophy from you when you go into these 2 exhibition games where people will be at the games, everybody will see, as opposed to those secret scrimmages when you can try things out, nobody's really watching. Is it the same thing, or are you looking at experimenting a bit rotational because you're in the limelight there playing a big time team on TV that you gotta win? That's what's the most important thing.
I don't think the winning, obviously you want to win, especially at home. You want to win against a team like North Carolina, but you have to understand it's the first game in front of fans, the guys being nervous and things of that nature. But you want to see certain things happen in that game. All the non-negotiables that we have, you want to see those be done at a high level. And that's when you know you're winning, when you can do those. If you're still not rebounding, you're still jogging to your spots, if the spacing isn't proper, on defense, if we're not talking, if we're not moving on the string, then those are the things that are going to frustrate me if that's not happening. Those are the things that I need to see happen.
So still the same things you would do in a closed scrimmage?
Yeah, pretty much, but obviously when you're in a game setting in an arena instead of here in a closed-door scrimmage, it's different. It's like a real game.
Did anyone raise their shots in your eyes today?
I've been seeing this since June, so I think that Jared did do well for himself today, because we know his potential. Maybe that gives him confidence to do more. But I look at everybody, the way that the white team worked together, the way that the blue team worked together, and don't really look at it as someone's stock rising because thank God I've been seeing it since June, and I know who's who.